Hello, good morning. Thanks for staying up with us as we bring you Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Trea Auto Insurance. Amy Fiddle alongside Ricky Vitalico and Ben Davis. And gentlemen, you guys said on the pregame show, which was yesterday, that they were going to get those bats going. Ricky, I know Ruben said it, but you said it before he said it, so I'll give you credit first.
Yeah, I just think it was one of those times where this Phillies team has fooled you at times that they were sleeping. You know, they're kind of in the weeds. Nothing's going right. And then all of a sudden, they always have a game like this where they just kind of break out. And this was just perfect because Elder was terrible, and they made him pay. And, I mean, Elder got out of the first inning with just one run. I thought that was awfully lucky. And then that second inning come along, and he had no shot whatsoever. And it was everybody. I mean, when you think about the extra base hits, 9 extra base hits out of your 17 hits, that is so much of a relief for this team and the fan base here. And, you know, it's just one of those things. Abel doesn't pitch, everybody kind of steps up for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, you mentioned it, 10 different Phillies got the hits, 17 hits in total, 9 extra base hits.
Well, some of them at the end were garbage hits, but
listen, they count still in the box score,
Ricky Paul.
Come on, they're in the box score. We see them, we saw them with our eyeballs. But
this game was over in the third inning.
It was, but we had to wait until the ninth to make sure it was officially over. Ben, it was good to see, and I know there was some truth to what Ricky's saying, that there are some hits that maybe don't count as much, but they needed to get something going, and they did. That's positive momentum.
Without a doubt. And this is a ball club, obviously, that has really struggled their last 3 games in Houston. They were tough to watch, and it's an offense that was built on slug, and they slugged the baseball tonight. It was just a really good approach against someone whose ERA started at 4.77, ended tonight at 5.82 in Bryce Elder, and that's a lot going this, you know, you're at the halfway mark of the season, and this is a guy that just, he got the ball up and the Phillies took full advantage. Nice to see him getting that lead so early, and then have really this bullpen matchup. These guys came in and threw strikes. They filled up the strike zone. You got to compliment them. And Alan Ronhell at the end, that was just huge for him to go the 5 innings. He was outstanding. Yeah,
it was nice to see the Braves not able to get anything across the plate against those guys. Well, you mentioned that this is a team built for slugging.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it wasn't coming in very fast. Plus, he kind of jammed himself on it.
He did
which is pretty impressive that he was able to muscle that one out of the ballpark.
They did leave guys with runners in scoring position on.
Couple, huh?
Come on. Like, what are we? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, you can see this 13 runs. This is the 3-game series against the Astros, which obviously a very good pitching matchup, as we saw. Those were very tight games. This was not a good pitching matchup for Bryce Elder. He did not enjoy his time, nor did anybody else if you were wearing a Braves uniform. 13, see 15 hits in 3 games, and then 17, and you can see the extra base hits. Home runs, 5 of them as well. I mean, when you're seeing the ball as well as they are, and yes, I know Trea Turner's second home run came off a position player, but when you're seeing the ball against Bryce Elder and anybody else, it seemed like the Braves were going to trot out there. I would think it seemed a little bit to snowball for these guys.
It did seem to snowball, but it's, again, the approach. The Phillies had the right approach against Elder tonight. He threw 66 pitches in 2 innings. 66, only 35 of which were strikes. So they made him get the ball up and in the strike zone. They were not going outside the strike zone. That's just why they had the success that they had. Chase was up a little bit in Houston, and granted, I know that Bryce Elder is a little different from the guys from the Valdez and the Brown that they saw down in Houston. But it was just the approach that I really liked, and it was okay. Unless you get the ball up, I'm not going to swing at it, and that's the approach that the Phillies had, and they took full advantage of some pitches elevated in the strike zone.
And the one thing you got to take out of this is that when you were watching these games in Houston, think about the chase. Think about them swinging at pitches that were out of the zone. You didn't see that really at all in this game. As a matter of fact, I think the umpire kind of stuck it to a couple of Phillies players in the middle of the game when it was already 11-0. But that's, I guess, to be expected. The ones that just off the corner are now being called strikes. I know Max Kepler had an at-bat where I don't think there was a strike thrown to him and he ended up striking out, which happens in games like this. But, I mean, the one thing for the Phillies tonight, they were much more selective. They took their walks early on, and then they just opened up a can of whoop-you-know-what on them.
That they did, to the tune of a 13-0 win.
And I like to see the fact that his chase rate has really gone down this year. He's taking, he's taking those lousy singles to right field.
Yeah, oh goodness.
He's taking those this year, and it's a difference maker for this ball club.
It is, honestly, especially when you have him at the top of the lineup right now, batting .302. 4 for 6 tonight. He's getting on base, and he's obviously moving around the bases. There was 2 home runs. That's not the normal you see with him, but it's good to see him, getting those singles and getting those doubles. Ricky, Trea Turner is a table setter.
He's getting the barrel to the ball. I mean, that's what it's all about for him. I mean, it doesn't matter. I know you say the home runs don't matter, but I think it does a little bit, and I think it does in a hitter's mind, because when you start hitting some home runs, then you're acknowledging to yourself that you do still have some power, that you can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And what happens is confidence. I mean, you heard him. I love when Trea came on and said, it starts with me. And I wasn't good enough in Houston. And I mean, I think it's odd that the whole team was that bad yesterday. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you throw up 17 hits and 13 runs today. To me, that's a good sign. That's a sign that, they're just that team that's going to bounce back.
And that's what you need to see, especially after the way that they ended that Astros series. Well,
it might not save him.
Ron Hill.
Well, because
numbers game.
They
He's up here.
Have to send somebody down to bring somebody up.
This was good for him. Obviously, he comes in, he does the bulk of the work here with the 5 innings. You can see Mick Abel, he'll get credit for a game played, but he doesn't have anything in the box score. It's a very weird anomaly the way that works there. Tanner Banks obviously started the game, actually, even though Mick started the game.
Yeah, I know that weather folks get things messed up from time to time, and I know that the radar isn't always accurate. But when they started that game, we saw the sky.
Yeah, you could see it.
And there was no way that they were going to start that game on time. And to have your starting pitchers go out there in that fashion.
Yeah, and Bryce Elder warmed up too.
You can't tell me that this is that much of a renegade storm that it's going to. They're going to just, this just came out of nowhere.
Well, it's currently raining.
Was the case. I don't understand that, but. Somebody got that one really wrong.
They gave a lineup card in the rain. That was the weird thing.
I actually didn't think either one of the pitchers was going to go.
Yeah, it was interesting that Elder went.
I'm surprised they left Elder in there for as much as he is as what?
Well, at one point,
66 pitches.
Going to go ahead.
He was all over the joint.
You're just going to wear that one at some point.
Yeah, he wore it.
Yeah, he did.
9 earned runs in 2 innings. That's wearing.
What does the ERA? What did it go up to there, Ben?
4.77 to 5.82.
It says that right here.
Yeah, yes. There you go. Oh, yes, Al. I'm on the Phillies box score, not the Braves box score. Thank you for doing my job for me, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys. As always, it's a happy birthday present to me to be on with these gentlemen and talking about a win.
You don't hit balls like that in the major leagues.
So here are the major league home run leaders. Cal Raleigh just hit one the other day. Shohei, no surprise. Aaron Judge, no surprise there. But Barry and Schwarber right there.
He's got to get on his
Everybody
horse.
out there. Well, June is almost wrapped up.
Pick it up
July.
Let's
getting
go.
ready to start.
Cal Raleigh's on a different planet.
I couldn't believe it the other day. I looked up, I was like, he's got 32?
He's on a different planet.
He is absolutely raking out there. He's on West Coast, no one's seeing it, but if you haven't, it's pretty impressive. Let's check out.
You wanted to say nobody cares.
No one's paying attention because we're East Coast bias here, and that's why we're Phillies Postgame Live. Let's check.
Every kid's fantasy, every kid's dream to do that. He was able to fulfill that tonight. Congratulations to him.
Yes.
That was quite the feat.
Yeah, big hat tip to Otto Kemp on his first of hopefully many home runs at the major league level. We'll check in with his manager, Rob Thomson, now.
Houston, that one had to feel pretty good tonight offensively.
Yeah, it was. Got it going early and just kept adding on. We had great at-bats all night long, 17 hits and 7 walks or something like that. So really good offensive night.
With Abel just got completely warmed up and don't want to wrap him back up ice.
Well, we were trying to keep him alive because the original report was that it was going to be an hour long. So what we do is every 12 to 15 minutes, we take him and let him throw in the cage off the mound and then take an inning away from him or 20 pitches away from him. But once it got to an hour, that was about 8:15, and we kind of knew that it was going to be another hour at least, and we just shut him down.
So is this his start this time through the rotation, or will he start in the next few days maybe?
Well, if he comes in fine tomorrow, we could use him as an emergency out of the bullpen. So we'll see.
Otto got a hold of one there for his first
Yeah.
home run. Kind of, good to see him get that, sort of check that box, get that out of the way.
Yeah, it is. He's had good at-bats ever since he's been up here, and he also had a walk tonight, and he's just, he's got a really good approach. I really like it.
Sounds crazy to pitching, but what Ron Held did tonight, we saw what
Incredible.
on the other side, but to kind of save your bullpen.
Incredible. He was great. He was 94. Great, really good changeup, and his plus changeup through strikes. Did exactly what we needed to do.
So how many throws do you think Nick made down here? I mean, did he throw like essentially a full start?
No.
Okay.
No. So he had his regular bullpen
Right.
to get ready for the game, and then he came in after about 15 minutes. He played catch, and then after another 15 minutes, he did a pretty good side, and then basically we shut him down. So we'll see how he is. Well, obviously we're going to be very careful with him.
Not that you know what they're doing over there, but were you surprised to see Elder after such a long lineup still?
No, I don't know what their rain delay situation is and how they go about it. So I'm not surprised, really.
Thank you.
Everybody's tired.
If you can get him going, that's another bona fide bat at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, he's batting 6th right now. We've seen him go down to 7th. You've seen him up a little bit higher. I don't think it's necessarily where he's batting. It's the fact that he needs to get going. It's been a really rough kind of first half for him.
Yeah, the slug is down for him right now. The batting average at just 248. But this is a guy that can be streaky, much like a lot of these guys in this lineup. But they definitely do need to get him going a little bit more. Just the 5 home runs on the season for JT. But we all know what he means defensively to this ball club. But he's caught a lot of games over the years, and you get a little bit older, your bat speed does slow down a little bit. I'm not saying that that's happening per se for JT, but it's something that looks a little bit off, but the stroke does seem like he's getting back. He's got that exaggerated leg kick. Sometimes he struggles getting that foot down on time, but right now he looks pretty darn good to me. The thing that's baffled me all season is his numbers against lefties this year. He just has not hit lefties for whatever reason, and if that starts to get a little bit better, you're going to see that average even come up even more.
All right, well, let's check in on these standings right now. The Mets did lose to the Pirates 9-1. You can see the Phillies now a half game up on them. And of course, they're the Braves, who the Phillies beat tonight 13-0. 1 on his career, Otto Kemp.
A lot of firsts for you, but first major league home run, just how to feel, what was the reaction like in the dugout?
Yeah, it was a cool moment. Something I'll remember forever. It was awesome. Everybody was obviously happy. It felt like a long time in the coming after the beginning of the season, how regular they became. But just knew it was a matter of time before it happened. So good to get the first one off the back. Hopefully some more to come.
Are you generally happy with the way you've been driving the ball? I mean, it seems like you've missed a couple that have been fairly close. But
yeah, I feel like I'm just a tick off. We're working at it, and I feel like I'm doing a good job not trying to force that. I feel like when you try and force the issue, especially in this game, not very good things happen. So just trying to kind of let it happen and let myself adjust the way I need to adjust, and kind of let this game teach me what I need to get better at and where I need to improve. So kind of just taking that mentality and just kind of letting things happen as they fall and adjusting from there.
So you got the ball back. Do you know what you're going to do with it yet? And what did you do with your first hit ball?
I still don't have the first hit ball. Not sure where that one is, but I think that one's coming. But this one, I mean, I got to frame it, put it up somewhere, at least put it in a case. Put it in a case and keep it, and we'll see what happens from there. But it's a pretty special one.
Just as a team, the way things went in Houston, how good did tonight feel?
Yeah.
Just have everyone contributing.
Yeah, I mean, again, only a matter of time before the ticking time bomb goes off. So very refreshing to know that we just needed to change of scenery, and refreshing for everybody. But clean slate tomorrow and come back and do it again.
thank you.
Your scenery, change of pitchers, and they took advantage of Otto Kemp getting his first home run there. 2 more against the Braves. We will see you Sunday. Of course, then they're back home against the Padres and the Reds. Ben, what did you do with your first home run ball?
He won that.
It's in a
What's that?
It's in a case in my parents' cellar, yeah, along with some other baseball memorabilia. So it's pretty cool. It's got calligraphy on it. I had my first hit ball, and our clubhouse manager in San Diego had calligraphy.
Oh, like to know what it was.
Yeah, calligraphy, like who was off of, the date, and all that kind of stuff.
That's
Pretty
very
neat.
nice. That's very nice. Hopefully no one has a souvenir off Jesus Luzardo as he's going later today as it is after 1 a.m. Going against Spencer Schwellenbach.
Yeah, Schwellenbach's been pitching well.
Yes,
It
he has.
should be a pretty good matchup. I mean, because you look at Schwellenbach's numbers, they're very good. You look at Luzardo's numbers, they look a little ballooned because of 2 starts. He had 2 bad starts. But other than that, he's pitched extremely well this season. It should be a great matchup today.
It was later on today, coming up later. It was really good to see Luzardo bounce back against the Mets because when Ricky mentioned it, those 2 starts were, they were really bad.
Yeah,
do you think he's found his form again? Yeah, it was. Weston Wilson came in and pitched in those games.
He obviously righted the ship, and those 2 outings were something that we've never really seen before. The fact that how quickly it happened and how long they let him out there to really take one for the team. And but he has really righted the ship. He made it tinkered with his delivery and with his presentation just a little bit. So I think he got the hitters off his scent, if you will, and I think that has gotten a long way. This is a guy that obviously has the goods, and he's really put it together the last couple starts.
I mean, especially, it's great to get the win, the 13 runs, but getting a series against the Braves, not only big in the standings, but just it goes a long way to erasing the bad taste from the Astros.
Well, it definitely does. I think this game that we just witnessed probably took a bad taste out of their mouth. I mean, you're talking about a team that could not do anything offensively in Houston. All of a sudden, you get into Atlanta, and it might be just one of those things that they know the Braves very well, so there was some familiarity there.
I feel like Castellanos hits always really well down there for whatever reason.
Ball carries down there.
Yeah.